Okay.
What's up, and welcome to my drama exposed video.
Okay.
#1 beauty drama channel on YouTube. I feel like everyone says that, but I've been working on this timeline of events that stick out to me when it comes to James Charles, and I'm gonna try to be as unbiased as possible and just talk about it. I have met James Charles before, and we're gonna get into that in this video a little bit more, but I really worked hard on this timeline of events, and I just wanted to like touch upon some parts of it. So I feel like I'm gonna break down this video into 3 different parts: the beginning, the middle, and then like of course the drama and the end of it all. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I think before, if you're gonna talk about James Charles, you gotta understand like the very beginning of the James Charles drama. I think that no matter what, James Charles was meant to succeed in whatever it is that he did. He seemed like a type of person that was like really motivated and just wanted whatever it is that he set his mind to. And that's kind of like interesting. Like if you really have watched a lot of the interviews that James Charles has done, he's really into like cracking codes and algorithms and thinking things very thoroughly. So I kind of feel like he's very good at manipulating and bending things to his favor, and I think that's pretty good. Now some people would think that that's like a bad thing, but hey, I mean, if you're that young and you're doing it, like, whoa. So I want to start off with James Charles first came into my limelight when he appeared on Ellen November 14th, 2016. So I'm gonna roll you the clip. Here we go.
Made history by becoming the first ever male cover girl. From Bethlehem, New York, please welcome 17-year-old James Charles. So James Charles, you're the first male cover girl. That is, how does it, and you're 17?
Yeah.
How does this happen?
So I had been posting my Instagram pictures for a very, not even a long time, it's been a year now. So my 1 year. I started to tear up because this is such an emotional moment, and I instantly have to suck it back in because my makeup. Oh, the eyebrows. The eyebrows and the hat. This is when I still had the man bun. And I had just been posting. It was like every day, just post my makeup looks and go. Not that big of a deal. And then for my senior pictures, because I'm a senior in high school, we took them, and I woke up very early to do my makeup for it, because I was like, oh, it's a special occasion, might as well try to look cute. And I went and got them done, and they looked so bad. I was like, wow, I know I did not wake up at 7 a.m. to get glam, and this was the result. So I emailed the photography studio, being like, was there be any chance of me being able to retake them? And they actually said yes. And I redid my makeup, and I brought my ring light with me, which is like the light that I use for makeup photography. And we retook them, and they turned out really good.
Yeah.
So I posted them on Instagram, and they went viral literally overnight. Okay, major note here. Okay, Ellen literally asked me, how did this happen? And I then gave her a full minute-long response. No, absolutely, like, oh my God, literally could not have been any worse of an answer. A better and shorter answer would have been, it's been really crazy. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. You know, I've been posting on Instagram for quite a long time, and CoverGirl caught the attention of one of my viral posts. They flew me out to LA to do a photo shoot, and here we are only a few weeks later. I can't even believe what my life has turned into, but it's been so much fun along the way. See, 15 seconds, super short, super sweet, and not getting into any specific details. If I had said that and then she asked, oh, tell me about the photo that went viral, then I could have gone into detail about the senior photo and the ring light and everything, and that would have been a much more curated interview. However, I literally gave her like everything that she was probably going to ask me throughout the entire interview within the first question, which is never ever a good thing to do because it limits your screen time. Also, side note, it's always really important to watch what you're doing with your hands when you're, doing an interview, because I did like this because I was super excited, but I bumped the microphone, which is not good as well.
Everybody there was cool about it? Your classmates you didn't get bullied or anything?
I mean, there was definitely like people that weren't accepting it right away. I mean, I definitely was pretty dramatic on Twitter, like gotten a lot of fights at like 8, not like physical fights,
yeah.
No, like social media fights at like age 12.
Awful,
I was very
awful
immature.
answer.
Who isn't at age 12? Like, let's be real. But once I like kind of figured myself out and like grew as a person, I like now have a ton of different friends and learned like who I was. So definitely like everybody now is really accepting.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's, first of all, so not true.
Now what's really interesting about this moment is that after that, James Charles got called out by a former friend of his. So it was in that moment when James Charles landed his coveted cover girl and was the cover boy of cover girl that it really kind of launched him into, I think, major popularity in that time. And it really shook the beauty community because it was like the first male that dominated the makeup industry in that sense. Well, it was kind of short-lived because shortly after that, he got into some drama when he tweeted out on the February 16, 2017, "I can't believe we're going to Africa today. OMG, what if we get Ebola? James, we're fine. We could have gotten it at Chipotle last year." And it was that tweet that really he set off a flame in terms of drama and scandal because he literally made an apology video after that.
Hello everyone, it has been a long time since I've been able to talk to you guys. I am back home. Hello. It's been a very, very long time since I've talked to you guys. As you know, I was in South Africa for my school trip for 10 long but amazing days. For those of you guys who are wondering about everything that went on prior to my trip, I just posted something on Instagram and Twitter for the first time in a while, addressing everything. So if you would like any details or information, please go check it out and give it a read. That post really meant a lot to me, and the visit I'm talking about in the post literally changed my life. I will not be talking about this anymore. It is done with. I learned so much, and I'm looking forward to continuing to learn and to educate myself further. For those of you that are still here, thank you so much for always supporting me. You guys mean the entire world to me, and I hope that in the future I can be a much better role model. And I hope that you guys continue to stay and watch me learn and grow as a person. I love you guys so freaking much, and stay tuned for more posts and stuff coming soon.
Made an apology tweet after that, which is very interesting because here we are years later and he's sponsored by Chipotle when he basically said we can get Ebola eating at Chipotle, or could have in that sense. But it's just kind of interesting. Whoa. So then James Charles had a friend named Thomas Halbert that also makes beauty YouTube videos here on the platform. And Thomas Halbert had interestingly called out James Charles one day and said, "James Charles, do you want me to post the conversation about you editing your yearbook pic and how the ring light tweet is fake since you want to switch it up?" Now, I don't really understand what caused the fallout between Thomas Halbert, which was an up-and-coming beauty guru at that time and still is today. I don't know why they had a falling out. To me, that's always been like a mystery, kind of like my Botox and filler. It's a medical mystery. But with that being said, James Charles never really acknowledged it, not that I think about it. And so it was kind of just left that he kind of like faked his stardom in the very beginning because in essence, he photoshopped the yearbook picture and there was no calling the yearbook company. Well, up until now, because we're going to call the yearbook company and to see if James Charles really asked them if he could reschedule his photo. So who am I kidding? We don't have a budget for that. But if I would, I could. I really don't think I'm that invested in that part of the drama. But if what he was saying was true, then it would be his whole claim to fame could be a lie. But I mean, he basically faked it till he made it. Which, hey, believe me, I know all about faking it until you make it. I mean, literally, a couple years ago, I had a fake Louis Vuitton bag. And now I have a real Louis Vuitton bag. So I totally understand faking it till you make it. So if that's what James Charles did, then like good for him. And then somewhere around that time, somewhere in the beginning of the year 2017 is when James Charles and Tati Westbrook became like really, really close friends. And if you've been around long enough, Tati Westbrook literally helped James Charles a lot and get major brand deals.
When I have an amazing special guest with me.
Oh my
gosh, beautiful, I'm not even gonna let you introduce
I know,
her.
right?
My beautiful, amazing mother, Tati Westbrook. You guys, this woman literally is the woman of the makeup community, and what many of you guys do not know is that we filmed together twice.
You filmed on my channel.
I've been on your channel several times.
You've been here in this studio.
Yes.
This is like a first time for me on yours.
Yes.
So hi,
it's been
guys.
meaning to happen for
gosh.
way too long. We've literally, I don't know how it slipped through us.
Know.
It literally was an accident. So Tati and I have actually been friends for like 2.5 years now, probably. She's literally been here since the beginning of my makeup career. She helped me move out to Los Angeles. I went to her and James's wedding in Hawaii. Yes. Literally, they flew me there and bought me pants because I could not even afford to be there, which was so crazy.
I can't even believe that. Like how far you have come. Like honestly,
it's been
okay, like I'm gonna brag about you on your channel for a moment.
Oh, please do.
You texted me. I remember I'm about to get married and I'm all like, you know, and James was so sweet. He did my makeup. It was such a beautiful experience, but you could not find pants and you were so stretched thin. You know, YouTube hadn't become a livable paying job yet for you. So
broke.
it's just, you know, it's so insane to see how far you've come and how far you've grown. And I reached out to James, you know, way back when because he was so mega talented, and like, it's so cool to watch, you know, what you've become.
You're the best.
No,
Oh my God,
really,
I'm so proud of you and everything that you've done too.
I mean that. So we just have so much love for each other, and like, I'm so happy to be here.
We've been friends for 3 years. For some reason, literally this happened by accident, swear to God. She's never been on my channel before. I've been on hers a few times. We thought it was only right to do something iconic for today's video. Thank you for being here. This idea is actually Tati, so.
I live here, so.
Yeah. So Tati actually came up with the craziest idea ever. I have a younger demographic,
You do,
so
okay.
they were probably not alive yet. I don't know if I was alive yet for this show.
I don't know how many of you remember Supermarket Sweep, but it used to be this game show where people would have time to go like down the aisles, and they'd like, you know, knock over things from the aisle into their carts, and they'd have like 60 seconds to do it. And I was seeing a bunch of memes about this, and I was like, oh my God, it would be so fun if we...
As opposed to landing his brand deal with Morphe in the future. Then James Charles started growing very, very quickly, and it's almost, I don't understand how he did it. I mean, he was coming off the heels of being the face of CoverGirl, and I think that was really, in essence, what catapulted him into just being mega pop. And then it was in January 10th, 2018 that he collabed with Nikki Tutorials.
Here's now, huh?
This year will be my 10th.
God bless you. You and Jaclyn Hill were the two people that I used to like watch that like got me into makeup in the first place. Aww. It was literally so crazy because last night when me and Nikki were together, I had mentioned her in my Instagram story, and she like clicked on it because you get a DM when that happens, and she found a DM from me from 2015.
I know, it was so cute. So James sent me in 2015, he sent me this photo right here.
Oh God.
And he said, I'm posting this tonight, inspired by Lady Gaga too. I love your videos so much, I cannot even explain. You inspire me each and every day, and I seriously do adore you and love you. Thank you for being so amazing, Nikki. And Nikki never responded.
Welcome to the beauty world.
And then it was on March 30th, 2018, he collabed with Shane Dawson.
How does somebody like you do?
I don't. I never had a boyfriend.
Really?
Yeah, so sad.
You're working too much.
Yeah, I just hook up with straight guys on the DL.
Where do you find them?
Social media. My Tinder keeps getting deleted because they always report me for being a catfish, so I gave up on that. So the only app I like still check every once in a while is Bumble.
Wait, let's go to your Instagram DMs. I want to see how annoying you are to like Demi Lovato. Ooh, this is fun. They'll love this tea. This is a lot of guys. Oh my God.
How many of them are straight?
Probably none.
Your phone is lacking tea, and I'm dehydrated. Okay, so now I'm going to be putting on the... Wait, you're already doing it?
Yeah, I'm doing the concealer. You're talking too much.
Sorry. So you've never been like punched in the face?
I have in 8th grade actually I got punched.
I knew it.
This boy in my middle school, his name was Jamie.
Irrelevant Jamie?
Yeah, he always would make fun of me in choir, and then one day I stood up for myself, and he was like skateboarding away one day, and I like made a joke about him riding away in the middle of the school, and then he like came back and punched me. But I turned, and he hit the back of my head, and then he broke his arm.
That's everything.
Yeah, it's pretty Gigi.
What?
Gigi Gorgeous. It's everything.
Oh, I thought you meant Gigi gets punched in the face a lot. That would explain the surgeries.
Oh my God.
We love her. Wait, but you like being punched, or you like the idea of being punched?
No,
in the
it's
face?
just a joke for Instagram.
What?
I would
I
not
don't
want to
get
be punched. Okay. If somebody like posts a picture like a car, I'll be like, oh, run me over, daddy.
So then what? Do they reply? Do they slide in? What do we do?
No, then we just wait patiently and stay lonely.
That's a quote.
I'm going in with a Morphe 527, and you can use code James for 10% off.
And then he collabed with Jeffree Star on May 4th, 2018.
James Charles here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you guys can see, today we're joined with a very, very special guest.
Jeffree Star, hi!
And I'm so excited. We have been wanting to film together for such a hot minute now. And I feel like we have a lot of things that we want to talk about today.
So I'm down, I'm an open book.
What I'm sure you guys all probably know if you are like well versed in the makeup community / industry is that when I started in the beauty industry, me and Jeffree had serious beef.
Kinda, we did, huh? Yeah.
Like bad beef.
Yeah, it started off
A
rough.
sister scandal.
There's been a few moments. Should we just talk about them all?
Yeah.
Great. All right, so we met in New York at actually the Jacqueline's launch for Champagne Pop.
Yep.
James was at the party. I had flown to New York with some friends and we were there and I'd never met James before. Remember you came up to me?
I did. I was super excited to meet Jeffree.
Yeah.
Because you guys know that I came into this industry pretty fast. Even though I was still growing as an influencer, I was still a major fan of all the people that were up there, right?
Yeah, which I didn't even know at the time. So looking back, I'm like, oof, ouch. Like people were a little mean girl. So I remember someone I was with was like, I don't really want you to take a picture with James and da-da-da, and it was like this whole weird thing, and I'm like, I mean, he's fucking cool, he's a boy and beauty, like, let's meet him, he's younger, like, I live for it. And I loved your artistry.
Thank you.
And I saw you use my liquid lips, like, as liner, and you were just, like, full on taking it there, so I was excited, but it sucks when, and I can admit it even at my age, that people do have an influence on you.
Yeah.
And when someone's in your ear, like, kind of saying you kind of follow along, which sucks. So I was a follower in a situation that I definitely regret.
Yeah.
And I apologize for that night for being so short and annoying. But, you know, looking back, I'm like, oh my God, it's just so high school. You know, it sucks. So
I feel like this industry really is very high school-y. The next thing that happened was a Twitter battle. And this is when I was very small, still in the industry. And I was doing a lot of like the crazy looks all the time that you were just talking about. Like every day I was pulling out some new look.
Yes.
But I wasn't growing as fast as obviously I am now. Because of the fact that I was doing these crazy creative looks, I will admit I definitely did have a little bit of like an ego when I first came in.
Okay.
And
I love that you're growing up to say that though.
Yeah, absolutely. And in my eyes, I was getting frustrated that people like Jeffree or Manny, who did more classic glam, were growing and skyrocketing up to fame when I was pulling out these crazy creative looks that no one has ever seen before, and I was staying at the bottom.
Yeah.
I remember tweeting asking for my followers to send me ideas for creative videos or creative makeup looks.
Okay, yes.
And I remember somebody replied and said like, oh, do something inspired by Manny, and I quote tweeted it and literally said, girl, I said creative.
You did take it there, and I was
did.
like, and I was with Manny at that time, and we were sitting in a car going somewhere, and oof, girl,
And it was
rough,
ridiculous, and it was so childish. But at the time, I was literally 16. I just had that superiority complex, and I had an ego, and I will definitely be able to admit that now.
I don't
of
think
course,
you were
we
trying
squashed
to
it.
hurt feelings,
No.
but it came off
Very condescending.
You can't read things on the internet.
Yeah.
You can't read how someone's talking it, so it came off a little harsh. And I remember you definitely hurt his feelings, and I was like, "Ooh, girl, James."
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to think about James at that time. Me and Manny were just sitting in the car like,
It was bad. Once it turned into kind of like a group beef with friends.
yes, because you know when people are really friends, you're loyal and you want to chime in like, what?
So I remember me and Jeffree started arguing on Twitter, and then you had addressed me, and you had talked about how I introduced myself to you at that night at the Jacqueline event, calling myself the next big thing in the beauty industry. And I was just like, wait a second. Whoa, 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 whoa. I may be a little bit egotistical, but I would never, ever say that. So I was so spooked. I instantly had texted Manny trying to squash the beef and apologize, but it was a little bit too late. I couldn't take back what I said.
Yeah, maybe it was a little too soon. Like sometimes people aren't ready to hear sorry right away. They need to like get over being angry or like their feelings, which obviously we both can
definitely attest to, 1,000,000%. But it was a very interesting situation to say the least.
But it sucked because I didn't like have your number to like fix it or really call you. I was just more in the vein of like, okay, whatever. Like, like you made that comment about Manny, you guys can fix it, but you guys ended up fixing it.
Yeah. Obviously, I apologize on a personal level too, but even in a business sense, which I definitely want to talk about later on in this video too. It is stupid to burn bridges with people in your industry that you're forced to work with and you're forced to see all the time.
All the time.
I always try to stay drama free, which Jeffree cannot relate at all times, but I think that is why we're so different, and I think that'll be an interesting conversation later on as well.
I'm gonna contour.
And then it was until August 2nd, 2018, featured in the Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star documentary. And I feel like that was the last time that we saw Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. But then finally, on September 18th, 2018, James Charles and Tati Westbrook finally made a video together, which I always thought was kind of interesting that like James never really put Tati on his channel up until that time, and I kind of felt like, hey, if she really helped you out from the start, I just kind of feel like he should have put her on his channel a lot more. I don't know, it's just a whole like loyalty and respect thing. I think that he really could have treated Tati Westbrook better as a friend. But then again, during that time, a lot of people were like, well, James Charles is super young, James Charles is young and stuff like that. So he was able to get away with a lot. But what I've noticed up until that point, when he was collabing with Tati and Shane Dawson and Nikki Tutorials and Jeffree Star, watching the videos, you would think that they're all in a way different, but the dichotomy between them, it was kind of non-existent. I feel like they were all just individuals trying to make a career, make a living off YouTube, and just they kind of knew that they're super popular on this platform and knew that they could use it to their advantage to better their lives. And just within that, their relationships and friendships just kind of deteriorated. I think that was the moment when things started to fall apart. So this is where things get very interesting tea. November 2nd, 2018, James Charles launched his coveted Morphe palette.
Unleash your inner artist.
Finally, it was here. The only palette you would ever need. I think he said that. And the palette was a great success.
The James Charles Artistry palette first. Oh my god, this is the packaging right here. We have this beautiful look right here that you guys just saw at the end of the campaign commercial. I created this over 6 months ago now, and you have no idea. I have never wanted to post an Instagram picture more in my entire life, but I've had to hold it back and keep it a secret. I am so proud of how this look turned out. It was inspired by my look from 2017, blank canvas, and we have this beautiful light gray packaging. And we have Morphe X James Charles and my iconic sister signature in just a white glossy font. The packaging is super minimalist, but I absolutely love it and think it is just so chic. If we turn the palette to the back, we have this cute little note from me, Sister James. It says, "Hi sisters, James Charles here and welcome back to my palette. I love glam, but I also have a huge passion for crazy, colorful, outside of the box makeup, and I created this palette with that in mind. I included every beautifully formulated shade necessary to create literally any look you could possibly imagine." We'll get into that in a second. "I cannot wait to see what you come up with when you unleash your inner artist." James Charles. That's me! This is my palette! As well as the palette, we also have my brush collection launching as well. These two together complete the James Charles X Morphe sister collection. I am so beyond excited. This is basically my all-time favorite Morphe brushes and also a few different new brushes that I made myself as well. I'm gonna be jumping into this a little bit later on in the video, so make sure you stay tuned. But for now, let's jump into this baby. If we just pop her right on open, this is a brand new one. Comes in bubble wrap so it stays protected when it's shipping. Ta-da! Oh my god, there she is! So the palette comes in matte black, soft touch. I literally love how these feel so much. And the text on the front is in shiny black. It says Morphe X James Charles. Just like the packaging on the outside in the white, it is just very sleek, minimalistic, very much my overall style. Oh my god, I haven't opened this on camera before. I'm so excited! Okay. Okay, if you open it up, we have, hallelujah, hallelujah. 39 beautiful, amazing colors. Now at the top of the packaging, we have this little saying right up here that you heard at the end of the campaign commercial in my little ASMR voice, and that is, "Unleash your inner artist." Now, I've had this quote in the Notes app on my phone for literally 2 years now, and I knew that I wanted to use it for a big project, and hello, what better to use it for than this eyeshadow palette? My mission as an artist since I joined the community has always just been making it fun, creating new content, doing things that nobody would ever dare to do, taking a step away from tutorials and making beauty videos actually entertaining, playing with color, playing with avant-garde looks that most people wouldn't necessarily deem wearable everyday content. And through doing that, I've been able to express myself and put myself out there and find all of you sisters and find such an amazing audience that also has such a love and appreciation for art. So that is why we are unleashing our inner artist with this collection.
I mean, it's still sold, even all the scandals aside, it's still sold on Morphe's website right now. February 1st, 2019 was when Jeffree Star got a contract with Morphe Cosmetics as well. And Morphe and Jeffree Star came out with some brushes. Now the brushes were very nice. Until this day, it's sold very well. And it was interesting that Morphe chose to give James Charles a palette, but then to give Jeffree Star the brushes. So the brushes are very interesting because I was in LA at that time and I got invited to the Morphe X Jeffree Star launch party. And I was walking into the party, of course, with my security and bodyguards as one does. I saw James Charles, and James Charles was there. I had a brief conversation with James.
What's going on, guys? I'm here with James Charles. Clock at the house, girl. Clock at the motherfucking house.
Bye. Wait, are we so excited for Jeffree?
I'm
oh
literally
my
most
gosh.
pumped. I never wear pink, so I'm like
Yeah.
a little bit scared of this outfit, but there'd only be one person that I wear it for.
Yeah.
My sister's Tati.
Love you. The party was great, guys. Like, it was super cool. Lots of food and things like that. But what I've noticed is that James Charles and Jeffree Star didn't really like hang out, talk that much. So I was like thinking, like, well, is there something there? Like, I don't understand if there's like maybe pride and ego. But then again, it was Jeffree Star's party that Morphe held for him.
I don't think life is ready for two big players to be taken out at once. That's just impossible. Come on, pal.
Just runs right up there, doesn't it?
Hear that? Success.
But I just thought like Jeffree would just hang out with James and just like shoot the breeze with him. But they really didn't speak that much. It was almost kind of like James Charles was there because he was obligated to be there. Like, let me just go and support another Morphe influencer that got this amazing collab. I think James was just there to be like a good person, and everybody was there to support Jeffree Star during the party. Now, interesting enough, this was during the time that Jeffree Star was still with his ex-boyfriend Nathan at that time, and they seemed to be getting along very well. May 10th, 2019 is when Tati Westbrook dropped her Bye Sisters video, which if you try to find that video on social media, it's not on Tati Westbrook's page anymore. Some website has it up for you can watch it. But if you were to watch that video today, a lot of the things that she said in that video today kind of resonate with what's going on with the James Charles scandal that we're currently in right now. And people can joke aside, like when they think of James Charles, they think of scandals and drama and how he's managed to just live through them and get by them all. But in that Tati video, that's now deleted, but in that video, if you do find it, it's Bye Sisters by Tati Westbrook. In that video, it almost, if you could play that video today and be like, wow, this is true. He's still at it again, if that makes sense. Then James Charles dropped a video called No More Lies.
A lot of times I've talked about being into straight guys. Now, this conversation is something that has upset and also confused quite a lot of people. So in order to provide a little bit more context, I would like to play a clip from Tati's friend Jeffree Star's video titled The Truth About My Relationship.
I was single for a long time, and the reason why is because I am really not attracted to anyone but what we call in this world as a straight male or a normal dude. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, I am really into straight guys, and I know that is going to not be surprising to a lot of you. So, you know, from just traveling everywhere and meeting dudes all the time and being around that world for so long, I really kind of fell into a trap of always being someone that was kept like the secret. And when you are someone like me who is, you know, I get asked all the time, even every day on my channel.
May 18th, 2019. And it was in that video that he basically defended himself by showing receipts that Jeffree Star had threw up there, which if you were to see some of those Jeffree Star tweets today, you would be like, oh my gosh, Jeffree Star was right and things like that. Although that doesn't basically clear Jeffree Star's name of any type of wrongdoing he's ever done. But if you were just to micro section that part of the tweet, you're like, oh my God, it actually makes sense. Which then circles back to what people have been saying when they're like, Jeffree Star was right all along. Tati Westbrook was right all along. Shane Dawson, was he right all along? Then there was a lot of drama because then Jeffree Star came out with his own Morphe palette.
I just did an opening a few weeks ago and it was like, oh, it was unreal, very humbling, and I just feel so grateful, and I just can't believe all this magic is happening. So thank you to you guys for even allowing this collaboration to happen, and thank you to Morphe for believing in me. It's been crazy. So, whew, I'm excited. There's a lot to talk about, so I think it's time to talk about the big bitch in the room. And no, I'm not talking about my ass. I'm talking about the Morphe Jeffree Star Artistry palette. Good morning, how are ya? When me and Morphe were talking about what I wanted to create an eyeshadow palette. And a lot of them were like, really? Like Jeffree Star Cosmetics, you kill the eyeshadow game, Blood Sugar, Blue Blood, Jawbreaker, like I'm doing my own thing. But I really wanted to bring the Jeffree Star experience to a different price point. And I could never do this unless I collabed with another brand. So we all know I live and I know how to make an eyeshadow. But Morphe, they really kill it on makeup too, and their eyeshadows are unreal. I've always been a fan of their stuff. I remember like one of my, I think second or third videos I ever uploaded on my channel was reviewing the Morphe 350. Hi, that palette, girl, that sold millions of units, and it was such a groundbreaking thing at the time, the price point, how many shadows they were. It was like, girl, they did that. So I thought, you know, I really wanna make my own version and give people a different experience. So let's talk about it. Okay, so here's what the packaging looks like. It has some amazing holographic tape, of course, Morphe Jeffree Star. I want it to be very sleek, very business Barbie, like nothing like Jeffree Star Cosmetics. I wanted this to have its own moment, but of course still incorporate my DNA. Now this bad baby has 30 shades. Yes, you heard me right, 30 shades. Now there is an amazing love note on the back. I want people to read it when you buy it. I'm not gonna read it here. It has a little sickening picture of this thing over here with my signature and of course all the info. Now this palette does have eyeshadows and pressed pigments just like my own brand. Now let's open it up. Of course you guys know it comes secure with bubble wrap, broken shadows, girl. We try to never let that happen. And here it is. Now the palette does match the box, of course. Now introducing the Morphe Jeffree Star Artistry palette. Yes! Oh my god, here she is in all her glory. Okay, you guys, let's talk about it. 30 shades. This will be retailing for only $35. And there is a lot in here, so
August 6, 2019. That was a really good launch party. I attended that party as well. And like it seemed like everybody was there. Like a lot of influencers were there, but interesting enough, James Charles wasn't at that party.
Many years. I mean, I feel like we started our careers together in a way. You know what I mean? Like in the makeup world, like we both like said, okay, let's do this. And we put Jeffree's liquid lip in our store, in our little janky ass store in Burbank.
Yes, that store in Burbank though.
Yes, it came through. It
really came through.
Yes, and we had our first meet and greet when we launched your lipstick in our store, and it was so cute. We planned for 2 hours. And yes, you were. I remember. Yes, you were. Do I even need this? Yeah, I do. Okay. I can't hear myself, so I'm yelling. But anyway, we've seen such dedication in a human being. Like Jeffree works his ass off. You make me so fucking proud. You inspire me to do more and like hustle because your work ethic is unreal. Like I have never ever met anybody like you. Anyway, I love you. It's just amazing. It really is to see somebody so successful still work so hard and actually have a
Me being an attendee at the party, I noticed that kind of like there was almost like a cultural shift in the beauty community at that time. Whereas at the last Jeffree Star party, everyone got along. And at this one, it was kind of just like James Charles wasn't here. And I remember some people being like, is James Charles going to come? Is James Charles going to come? Because there was like this, at that time, dichotomy with Jeffree Star and James Charles during that time. Then October 11th came, 2019. And James Charles dropped his video of his new Morphe palette, which basically was his existing palette, just like a miniature version, which was kind of interesting because it was like, remember, James Charles said, this is the palette, the only palette you would ever need. I kind of felt like this was an opportunity for him to do another palette if he wanted to. So for him to do a mini version, I think that was great, but I think a lot of people expected something more. So I can't help but to feel like this palette was a little bit lackluster because people were thinking like, what's your next idea or palette creation? I think this is where things kind of just fell flat for me when it comes to creativity and makeup with James Charles, like in the sense that the James Charles name does sell and get a lot of attention, but is the creativity there? And you know, I left out a lot of parts because there's so many of small beauty gurus that James Charles had copied them. And so when I felt like this was his time to like show us what else he had on his mind when it comes to like creating a makeup palette, it just kind of fell short for me there. But holding any bias, it was a great palette. There was nothing wrong with the palette. I believe that sold well too. Then the ultimate copying came out whenever James Charles was accused of copying a Teddy Fresh design, which is a really cool fashion label by SATIRE podcast. I believe the wife Hila, or Hila, I don't want to mispronounce the name, sorry, don't cancel me, because if you do, that'll be like the 9th time I've been canceled. But they had a really cool fashion line, so when it came out, it kind of looked similar to the James Charles one. And I think that's what really started drama with James Charles and the SATIRE podcast. I think that was a catalyst for a lot. And I say that because I feel like the SATIRE podcast was like, whoa, we're in drama with James Charles, and I think it really brought a lot of attention to both sides, almost like cross-pollinating subscriber bases, because I feel like some of the James Charles subscribers didn't know who SATIRE was, and now that James Charles was caught up in the drama with them, it kind of let them know that there was this other side of YouTube other than beauty. And I think that some of the SATIRE subscribers or foot soldiers kind of was like, who's James Charles, and kind of checked them out. And I think that's what really benefited them both in the drama, but we'll get more into that later. June 30th, 2020, Tati Westbrook came back with Breaking My Silence. In that video, in a nutshell, she was basically saying that Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson was in her ear talking negatively about James Charles, and she kind of fell for it and believed it. And that's what started like Bi Sisters, and she regrets making that video, and that's why it's taken down. And there's a lot of theories behind that video, but I do feel that you can be a grown adult and get influenced by what people are telling you in your ear. Especially, it's kind of like especially if you're like a sponge, you just kind of like soak up what's going around you. Although Tati has a mind, brain, and soul, and she can think for herself 100%, I do think that the people around you telling you things can really affect you. And that's what she was basically saying in that video.
So sure.
Oh, of course. Is that another ad? Another ad. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. This is so fucked. This is, oh my God. Okay. I'm live because I can't even process. I need a drink of water. I can't process this. This is insane. This is insane. This is insane. This woman is a fucking, oh my God. Oh my God. I'm going to wait till as many people get in here as possible because I'm losing my mind. Keep playing it. Keep playing it.
I didn't even know I was making a video. So how is it that so many editorial outlets knew that something was coming before I had...
Because you message drama channels! Oh my God. Oh my God.
I struggled with the decision
Oh my
to
God.
film my video for days. The night before I did film, Jeffree sent me what he claimed was an audio file from an alleged victim and told me to listen to the pain in her voice. The audio was clearly a small portion of the conversation. It wasn't enough for me to contact the authorities. It was enough to scare me.
Well, then why would you make a video on the matter claiming these allegations?
Because she is a fucking... I can't. I don't want to say mean things about people. This is insane. This is insane. This person literally Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. Keep pressing play. I need to get through this video so I can fucking... Oh my god.
As a victim of abuse myself...
Oh my god. You are so manipulative.
To think of facing public...
You're fake crying. You are fake crying. You are fake crying. That is not real. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I was molested. I have been... Oh my god. That is not...
And I made no mention of it in my video.
Oh my god.
Get off.
The night before posting my video by sister,
Oh my god.
I texted Shane sharing my concerns for James Charles, that he was out of the country on the high floor of a hotel, and I was afraid for...
August 28th, 2020, James Charles uploaded a video showing his house. And the only reason I'm including that in here because like I really enjoy house tour videos. Like I just shot a house tour of mine. So I'll try to upload it whenever it gets fully edited. We'll see how that goes. I hope I look good in the video. Like I just tell the editor, can you make me look skinny? Like just, I don't really care what the house looks like. Can you just make me look skinny? Does it have a filter? November 19th, 2020 is when I feel like James Charles did a shift. Because normally he wasn't addressing things. I just feel like James Charles normally would not address things, but in this situation, Trisha Paytas was coming for James Charles off the heels of Trisha Paytas coming for the D'Amelio sisters, and James Charles actually responded, and I don't understand why he responded.
Oh, had to come back because our favorite forever victims, James Charles, subtweeted this about me, 30-plus-year-old dragging someone half their age. Hey, you young kids and kittens, the reason why you're so rich is because people talk about you. I'm allowed to comment on people I've never even met before. I wasn't a 30-year-old being friends with you, James, underage. You are also 21 years old, friends with an underage minor. Tati took advantage of you by being friends with you. You're doing that with Charlie. I haven't been friends with you. I haven't been friends with Charlie. I am not friends with a minor. I am simply someone on social media giving comments, and just because you don't like me, James... Charlie also came after me because those words were exactly the words that came out of your mouth. Keep my name out of your mouth. I'm going to keep talking about you. As long as you're on social media, people are open for criticism. There's no foul misconduct except for you being friends with a 16-year-old girl. Ew. How is it that James Charles is the victim in every single situation? That's it. I've never heard of someone so innocent and just always the victim. Don't you ever put me in the same category as giving someone death threats. I have never given someone ever. The people, as Prez Hilton said, that are giving people are young kids, people 30 plus, 40 plus. We're on here giving y'all some constructive criticism. James, you ain't gonna last. You are the next Tyler Oakley going into obscurity real soon because you have no humility. You don't take any accountability. You keep going around, walking around with no masks, slapping with people with no masks, endangering so many people, and you're always the victim. Oh, you're stealing designs from people? I'm the victim. Oh, you stole a makeup look from someone for your palette? I'm the victim. The only time you've ever been a victim is when your parents allowed you to be friends with a middle-aged woman. Now Charlie is the underage victim to you, James.
I didn't want to respond to this because I didn't want to give Trisha the attention that she's clearly craving. However, I've now been accused of being a child groomer, and this is not an accusation that I'm going to take lightly. To insinuate that the relationship between Charlie and I is anything other than just a friendship is absolutely disgusting. I don't need Charlie, and Charlie does not need me. I became friends with the D'Amelio family as a whole very, very early on because this is all very, very new to them, and I wanted to be a friend and a mentor in any way that I possibly could. And Charlie and I, despite not being the same age, had one thing in common, which was coming to the spotlight at a very, very young age. This is something that Trisha has never experienced because the only reason she is in the spotlight is because she has said racist things. She said the N-word, she's done blackface, she offended the trans community, she offended the DID community, she said Hitler wasn't that bad of a guy, voted for Trump, and has started a fight with about every single other creator on this platform. You are in no position to be talking about me and my career, so I highly recommend that you stop starting fights with people that are half your age, pack it up, and work on holding yourself and your best friends around you because they and you are the problem.
And I think that was one of the worst things he could have ever done. Because if you know Trisha Paytas, she don't back down, okay? And the fact that she got that response from James Charles, it was kind of like, okay, you know she's gonna make video after video, Instagram, TikTok. I mean, she went at him. Until this day, I often wonder, like, why did James Charles even go after Trisha Paytas. She should have just left it alone. What I'm trying to say is Trisha Paytas is not somebody you want to anger. Trisha Paytas is not somebody that you want to poke. She's not somebody you want to get under her bad side. Like, she's just not, okay? So when he did that, I think it was just a bad move, bad PR move, if you ask me. If you want to think about things from a PR standpoint. Then James Charles started just acting weird and posting videos of him being bald and pregnant. Didn't really understand. It was too back to back for me. Like, I understand you're in a business of getting views and clicks, right? But I kind of feel like James Charles should have spaced it out. It was one day he's bald, then the next day he was pregnant. He should have like literally spaced it out like a couple months or weeks or whatever, but it was just too close. He just started posting like a lot of weird content, moving in a different direction, because being bald and being pregnant really don't have anything to do with the brand that I believe is James Charles, which is about beauty and makeup and cosmetic, which then let me know that I think that James Charles was slowly moving and pivoting away from cosmetics and doing more lifestyle type videos. And then the apology hit. We finally got, and it's very weird because not many influencers apologize. I think a lot of people have a hard time when it comes to like taking accountability or owning up or saying, hey, I messed up here.
In case anybody isn't aware of what's going on, within the past couple of weeks, 2 different people, both under the age of 18, have recently come forward saying that they had inappropriate messages with me on social media. One of them being from last year and one of them being from more recent. In both of these cases, I added these people on Snapchat, asked how old they were right away, was told that they were 18, believed them, engaged in a flirty conversation, and then later on found out that they were actually 16. Upon finding out, I was immediately embarrassed and blocked both people. Later on, when I saw them making videos about it and those videos going viral, my immediate reaction, completely honestly, was to be really, really upset. I wanted to get on camera and film another No More Lies video where I gather all my receipts and all my screenshots and try to tell my side of the story and then just move on from the situation. And now, looking back, that was so stupid, because as I did more research on these topics and self-reflected, I realized that the receipts and the screenshots and the specific details of the interaction really don't matter, and I needed to take accountability for my actions and, most importantly, apologize to the people that were affected by them. These conversations should have never happened, point blank period. There's no excuse for it, there's no ifs, ands, or buts, and I take full responsibility for that. I trusted the information that was given to me rather than the information I could have and should have gotten myself. In both of these situations, doing research into these people's public social media profiles would have revealed their true ages, and therefore these conversations would have never happened in the first place, but I didn't do the research, and that is what is so embarrassing. As an adult, it is my job and my responsibility to verify who I'm talking to, and therefore there is no one to blame for this other than myself.
What I found intriguing about the James Charles apology video is that a couple, I think days or prior to that, David Dobrik made an apology video, and his apology video seemed almost kind of identical to James Charles.
45 in the morning. I'm finally by myself. Just talk to you guys. I've put myself in a lot of situations.
Okay, I know that this situation shouldn't have happened.
I'm gonna take a short break from all the social media stuff.
I'm going to be taking some time away.
It doesn't feel right to go back to posting like I have been. I also want to add that I'm making myself available to anyone that wants to reach out.
I do want people to know that I will still be here, available, listening.
In the sense that was James Charles basically kind of taking notes from Jenna Marbles and David Dobrik, and it seemed to work in their favor. And I think a lot of people are asking me, like, what is my true idea of the James Charles drama? And I think that you have to ask yourself as a viewer or as a subscriber, you have to ask yourself, at what point do you cancel someone? You know, and I've always been a firm believer that the only person who can cancel yourself is yourself. And I think that you cancel yourself by ultimately just not posting, giving up. And I don't think that James Charles is canceled. I don't think he's going to stop. I don't think he's going to give up, although he's taking some time away from the internet at this time, which I think is a great thing to do. But it was just kind of like seeing the David Dobrik and then seeing the James Charles video together, just kind of made me feel like, was it sincere enough of apology for me to accept? But then I thought about it, like, I am not one of the victims of James Charles, so was that apology was not for me to even accept. But with that being said, James Charles literally, with his own mouth, or as some people say, with your own chest, James Charles admitted to sending and flirting with underage guys, and also saying that he was desperate, like desperate for love or attention or whatever it is. And I think that him doing that really made him vulnerable. He didn't cry in the video, which I found to be very interesting. But at the end of the day, if you watch the James Charles video, it has way more likes to dislikes. So that just lets me know that the general public or public opinion is on James Charles' side. But in cultural behavior and human behavior, that's what I find so intriguing, because here you have a young man, what, James Charles, 21 years old or something, literally said, I've had inappropriate conversations with underage guys because I was desperate. And so many people like that video. I just can't help but just, for my own opinion, feel like even though public opinion like his video, the actions are still there. You inappropriately flirted with a minor. Even though they may have lied or you didn't do your due diligence to check for their age, the responsibility falls on James Charles. So if it was my little sister or something, and even though public opinion is for James Charles, I just couldn't help but to feel like, no, that doesn't sit right with me. So then you have this dichotomy within the beauty community, which is now national headlines news at this point. Why hasn't big brands like Morphe distanced themselves away from James Charles unless they've already had makeup or contracts planned? And so by distancing themselves away from James Charles, they would be potentially losing millions of dollars. Now that's just one aspect, one like opinion, my conspiracy allegedly. I don't know that to be true or not. It's just all hearsay. But I think ultimately people vote with their wallets. I think regardless of likes or dislikes, people vote with their wallets. If James Charles comes out with another product, are people going to be there to buy it? Was this enough cancellation where it would hurt his pocket? I don't think James Charles is cancelable. The same reason I don't think that Trisha Paytas or Jeffree Star or Shane Dawson are cancelable. I don't think that James Charles would face any time or anything, any type of repercussions other than what we're already seeing. I will be shocked if Morphe does anything. I will be shocked if Tati Westbrook comes back and says, I told you so, or something like that, which I don't think she would do. I think that Tati Westbrook really holds her friendships to her heart. And I think that James Charles is someone that she really does adore and love. Just watching past videos, reading old tweets of them together and stuff like that. I think that if Tati was here, she would still be by his side during this. And I think a lot of people are by James Charles' side. That's why we haven't seen any big beauty guru say anything about James Charles or in defense or coming out against him. I mean, if you look at it, a lot of James Charles' inner circle, like the D'Amelio sisters or any of the twins or any of his other beauty guru friends, they haven't even said anything. And I think it shows a lot of growth when it comes to people like Jeffree Star, which in the past would have made a statement about James Charles today. I think if this was 2 or 3 years ago, Jeffree Star would have tweeted out, I told you so, or something like that. And I think it just would have been a whirlwind of drama. But I think that the fact that Jeffree Star has not said anything in response to the James Charles situation does show a lot of growth. I think some people just fail to see that because they're so used to Jeffree Star popping off on Twitter. Ultimately, when I see a lot of people saying, I'm so angry that nothing's being done with James Charles, ultimately I would say people vote with their wallets, honestly. I don't think anything's gonna happen with James Charles. I think James Charles is gonna take some time off from the internet, regroup, maybe come back to YouTube with a documentary showing maybe some therapy sessions or how he's changed. And honestly, change doesn't happen overnight. Like if James Charles is truly going to change, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's something you have to work toward. You have to want to be that change in the situation. But let me know what you think about this entire video. I know I usually come on here and I pop the fan and I have receipts, my little receipt bag, and I love this bag, a little receipt bag and stuff like that. But I honestly just wanted to do something different and just approach the video from what I feel is the beginning to the end. Now, there are plenty of other things in the timeline that happened that I just forgot or didn't put in here. I just decided to put things that stuck out to me. Ultimately, you guys are the ones that put people like James Charles in the position that he's in by liking and leaving comments. So if you'd be so kind, give this video a like and let me know what you think about it. I'm gonna pass on this entire question on to you guys. Do you think James Charles is cancelable? That's up to you guys to decide. You, the viewer, the watcher, the subscribers are the ones. This by all means was not a takedown or like a drama video toward James Charles. Just simply recapping what's leading up to this moment. So thank you guys for the privilege of your time. It means so much to me that you watch my videos. Thank you wholeheartedly. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Love you so much.